Calaroga Shark Media.
Welcome to Taylor Swift Today, your daily dose of all things Taylor. Let's dive into the latest headlines surrounding our favorite pop star's music, tours, movies, and personal life. Taylor Swift surprised many SoCal fans when she was spotted having a low-key night out at Barney's Beanery, a dive bar in West Hollywood, on April 4th. The 34-year-old singer, known for her lavish outings at high-end restaurants like Spago and Nobu Malibu with her NFL boyfriend Travis Kelce, spent a couple of hours chatting and eating with friends before heading out, with her security guard paying the tab. Glamour editor Sam Reed tells us, "Barney's is where we went in college when we were already shit-faced and trying to buy one beer for like $5. Though it's hard to predict where Swift and Kelce might pop up next, rumor has it the couple spent Easter with Travis's family in Pennsylvania, where Swift met his 3 nieces for the first time before the pair flew back to Los Angeles on April 1st. While you should typically take this kind of report with a grain of salt, one TikTok user noticed that Ed Kelce, aka Papa Kelce, shared the story on his own Facebook page, according to Cosmopolitan. Seems legit. Moving on to some tour news, Morgan Wallen's attempt at a lighthearted joke about Taylor Swift during his concert in Indiana backfired on Friday night. The 30-year-old country crooner, who recently followed Swift's lead in re-recording his earlier work, kicked off his One Night at a Time tour at the Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis Thursday. As Wallen took a break on night 2 to thank the crowd for showing up to support him, he did a little bragging, saying, "This is single most attended concert in the history of this building, and we're the first to do it for 2 nights in a row." He continued with a good-natured, "I'm going to say that until Taylor Swift comes to town." However, the crowd was not amused as they booed at the mention of Swift. Some in the audience cheered, but the majority began to boo the sentiment loudly, shouting down any opposite opinions. Wallen tried to appease the crowd and show there was no animosity towards Swift, saying, "We ain't got to boo, we ain't got to boo." But the audience continued to express their displeasure. Despite the awkward moment, it seems Wallen is actually a fan of Swift himself, as evidenced by a video from one of his 2022 concerts, where he and the crowd sang along to her hit All Too Well. In other exciting news, Taylor Swift has released 5 Apple Music playlists centered around the theme of heartbreak, just in time for the release of her upcoming album, The Tortured Poets Department. The playlists, which include a mix of her own past songs and carefully curated selections, are based on Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's famous 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Each playlist is accompanied by a personal message from Swift, sharing insights into the emotional journey of a breakup. For example, in the introduction to the Denial playlist, titled I Love You, It's Ruining My Life, she says, "This is a list of songs about getting so caught up in the idea of something that you have a hard time seeing the red flags, possibly resulting in moments of denial and maybe a little bit of delusion." The playlists feature a mix of her classic hits and newer tracks, such as Bad Blood, We Are Never Getting Back Together, Lavender Haze, and Snow on the Beach. Fans are speculating that the new album, set to drop on April 19th, may be about the end of her 6-year relationship with actor Joe Alwyn, although Swift boasts a formidable A-list dating history, ranging from John Mayer and Calvin Harris to Jake Gyllenhaal and Tom Hiddleston, among many others. Speaking of Swift's music, her recent re-recording of Style has surprisingly climbed to a new peak on the Billboard Adult Contemporary chart. Style, Taylor's version, reappears at number 29, marking its highest position yet, although it still ranks as her lowest charting placement and her tune with the fewest number of frames on the list, with just 2 so far. The original version of the song, released nearly a decade ago in 2015, reached number 1 on the same chart and ranks as one of Swift's 9 chart toppers and her 19 career top 10s. The renewed interest in the track comes as Swift's 1989 Taylor's Version album, released in late 2023, continues to dominate the charts, having peaked at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and moving more than 1.6 million equivalent units in its first frame. More in a moment. Lastly, Swifties are swooning over a fan-made compilation video showcasing Travis Kelce's unwavering support and admiration for his girlfriend. The clips, synced to Swift's Reputation track, Call It What You Want, feature the NFL star laughing off relationship conspiracy theories, calling the suggestions crazy, and gushing over their personal life together, with sound bites like the biggest and the best thing possible. Fans flooded the comments with praise, calling the compilation perfection and complimenting the creator for the masterpiece. One fan observed, "He really loves her," while another was touched by the way Trav loves praising Taylor. Countless others quoted the post with their commentary, with Swifties loving how similar Kelce is to the fandom. "He's so one of us," one said, while another wrote, "At the end of the day, he's just a Swiftie like rest of us." Someone else suggested, "He would run Swiftie Twitter like the Navy." And another imagined what it would be like to show up to a Tay Warrior competition and your opponent is Travis. Fans also lauded Kelce for how emotionally intelligent he is, something the internet gives full credit for to his parents, Ed and Donna. That's all for today's edition of Taylor Swift Today. Stay tuned for more updates on Taylor's music, tours, and personal life as we count down to the release of the Tortured Poets Department. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your app of choice, and leave us a rating or review if you love the show. I'm Annalise Idle, thanks to Mark Francis and John McDermott. Portions of this podcast may have been created with the assistance of AI. Taylor Swift Today is a Calaroga Shark Media production.